Hello, I'm the animator's friend. It's a surprise episode 1 week after the last episode because I have a very special event that we're promoting with our interview today. For those of you that are based in New York or are film lovers, and when you come to New York, I'm sure you're familiar with Metrograph Theater, and Signe Baumane and Bill Plimpton have co-curated and organized the Made in New York Best of NYC Indie Animation showcase and panel. It is going to be Saturday, September 13th at 5 p.m. And Metrograph says, just as New York has long been the capital of America's artistically ambitious second cinema, a scrappy foil to the Los Angelino industry of streamlined entertainment, it is also home to a counter-tradition of independent animation that has nothing to do with what happens out there in Burbank at the House of the Mouse. Two abundantly talented stalwarts of the NYC animation scene, Bill Plimpton and Signe Baumane, have teamed to assemble a program of some of the finest and most outrageous work to emerge from artists living and working in the Big Apple, and will be coming to Metrograph to introduce a one-of-a-kind evening of stubbornly individualistic tunes with, I'm going to say, the majority of participating filmmakers also present. I'm really excited. All my friends are excited. We're all excited. We're all going. We talk about the full list of people in the chat, but namely our former podcast guest, Lisa Labraccio, will be showing a piece that she did in collaboration with Anna Samo. Excited for that and for everybody else that's showing. And I had the opportunity to speak with Signe Baumane and Debra Solomon, who's also showing a piece of hers at the screening. And I got to interview them together, and we met up at the commissary at Metrograph. So that was really special. We were sitting in this nice little cozy corner. And as I was sitting there and like the conversation was unfolding, I was like, I kind of like just had several moments where I'm like, wow, this is really special to be talking to them both. And it's special to get to hear their answers to these silly questions. Because, I mean, part of the inspiration for this podcast was seeing very established animators who just get asked the same questions over and over and over again in different interviews. And I wanted to, break that tradition a little bit. And they feel like representative of what the goal was in making this podcast. So it was a real honor to be able to ask them my silly questions. And if you're not familiar with their work, Signe Baumane is a Latvian-born, Brooklyn-based independent filmmaker, artist, writer, and animator. She has made 17 award-winning animated shorts. Notable works would be feature-length films like Rocks in My Pockets and My Love Affair with Marriage. At the screening, they're going to be showing episodes from her series Teat Beat of Sex. And actually, the first time I became familiar with her was seeing episodes from Teat Beat of Sex at Metrograph, which is kind of a funny full circle thing that I didn't really realize until later. There was some sort of a screening at Metrograph. This is like a long time ago. I'm just going to say 2017. And it was women in animation, and maybe even the organization Women in Animation sponsored it. I'm not sure. But it was this really great collection of just like all films that were made by women in animation. And Teat Beat of Sex, like I was just like, oh my God, it's so funny. And just like everything that the blog line is a take on sex from a woman's point of view. And like, it is that, but like that almost doesn't do it justice. Like, I feel like the things that she's talking about are so specific and so like, oh my God, yeah. Like, it's just, she goes there for lack of a better term. And it was just so funny. And all of the animations that I saw that night, I was so like enamored. And I feel like that was an important event for me in my kind of entree into animation as I know it now, of seeing these short films that are not the most like mainstream things you've ever seen, but are so incredible. And yeah, really lighted, a fire in me for sure. And then, well, not like totally on the other end of the spectrum, but Debra Solomon, I became familiar with her work first through Lizzie McGuire, of course. She was the animation director for Lizzie McGuire, which I didn't realize was Disney Channel's first hit show. I always think about Disney Channel as being just like popular always, but that was the first big hit. Debra Solomon has been making animated films since 1995. She is a NIFA Fellow and Jerome recipient. Her films have won awards at festivals around the world, including a Silver Lion at Venice Biennale, Best Soundtrack in Annecy, and a special jury award at the World Animation Festival. Her film, Everybody's Pregnant, which is the one that's going to be shown at Metrograph, is in MoMA's film and video collection. It felt really fitting to be talking with them both because their work is, I think, maybe on the surface feels different, or from like a very passive viewing, you might think that it's quite different. But ultimately, I think they share so much, and they both are interested in women's issues and like a woman's experience, and approach exploring those themes with a lot of humor. And I was thinking about it. Debra's work is very humor forward. Like the second you start watching her films, like you're laughing. And as you go along, you start to realize like, oh my God, like what she's talking about is so serious and such like a personal struggle that's being discussed here. And it starts to reveal itself as being, this very deep piece. And then Signe's work at the front is very, serious, and I think is very forward about like dealing with like difficult topics. But then as you go along, she starts to insert this humor into it. And it's like they have this really beautiful balance of the tragedy and the comedy in their work. And the way that they explore it is in reverse of each other. So it's fun to have them in a room together and see how those differences maybe even manifest as people too. So I'm excited for you to hear my conversation with Signe and Debra. And I really hope to see you at Metrograph on September 13th. Again, it's at 5 p.m. Tickets are available on the Metrograph website. It's going to be a fun night, and get a little taste of what you'll see that night with my conversation with my new friends, Signe Baumane and Debra Solomon. Well, I'm so excited to be, chatting with you both here today at Metrograph. We're in the commissary by ourselves, and we're just getting excited about the Made in New York screening that Signe has programmed with Bill Plimpton, right?
Yes, me and Bill Plimpton, we're invited by Metrograph programmer David, and he asked us to put together a program of Best of New York independent animation program. Bill wanted to put all the Oscar-winning films, which is a lot, actually, for New York is a lot of Oscar-winning films. But then we also thought we would like to include kind of like overview, because there's more than just Oscar-winning films. And also some of these Oscar-winning films are very long. And we just want to have a program, like diverse program of many, many different things. It's like ice cream and herring salad, like something for everybody. And so this is a kind of overview of last, 30 years of New York independent animation. And there's a program in front of me. And it would go from what is New York, film Andy London, Lost Tribes in New York explains what New York is. And then of course we have to juxtaposition with LA, because if you don't have your opponent, then there is no actually New York, so our opponent is LA, and there is Candy Kugel's film Warm Reception in LA. And then, of course, after that, there is a frog by Chris Conforti that leaps out into the pool out of the heat. And it is like a film full of action, and New Yorkers would relate to it. Then Plimpton's Guard Dog it's all about animals now in this section, right? The Guard Dog is a fun film. And Morgan Miller's There Is Too Many Crowds, those crows over there. Crows, yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after animals, you have to, because also the crows get shot. So
Right.
the guns are no good. So then there is a Lisa Labraccio and Anna Bergman's film, The Opposites Game. You know,
Beautiful film.
Yes. Yeah. And then Pat Smith's Beyond Noah, which introduces more abstract segment of our program that leads to Frank Norris's Morris Frank film, which was a big Oscar winner a few years ago in 73.
A gorgeous film.
Gorgeous film. And then after that, we snap back into the real world, and it's Life in Transition by John Dilworth. And after that, we go into the violence of existence, which is Arthur Metcalf's Bubble Wrap. Remember Bubble Wrap?
Of course.
Yes, who can forget that?
I would never.
But it is a very violent film. You know, existentially violent, existentially. You go right there from existential violence into the dating violence, and Peter Ahern's Buzzkill is just a film for you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if we talk about dating is no good without Signe Baumane's Beat of Sex, a film about sex from women's point of view.
Right.
And then we go, of course, after you have sex, some of the people get pregnant. And then there is...
Some don't.
Some don't, but when you have sex, there's always a thought on your mind, will I? Or will I not? Or will she? Or will she not? And so there's Deborah Solomon's Everybody's Pregnant, following Beat of Sex.
Yeah. That is not about will I or will I not. It's like, I am not, I will not, ever. Yeah. That's
don't
the
give the
film.
ending. Don't give up the ending.
Yeah.
There's a hope. In the beginning of film, there's a hope.
No.
But then, of course, we have to go into mild, soft ending of this program. And that is guiding us to Chris Wedge's Bunny, which is a sweet relationship film between two older people. And then to just cheer everybody up after all this sex and violence, we have Alex Budowski's Bath Time in Clerkenwell, which is a very musical, very fun, upbeat film, and people gonna walk out of a room dancing.
What a great way to end,
Yes.
right?
So that is our programming, and I laid it out in front of you. You don't now you don't have to come to see it.
You don't have to you don't have to read it, but you have to come see it.
No, of course, yeah. You can only experience it.
Yeah. And then there's going to be a Q&A afterward.
There is going to be a Q&A. Almost everybody is
That's
attending,
wild.
except for Frank Morris. But you know, Chris Wedge, the legendary Chris Wedge, who directed Ice Age, and who, of course, did Bunny, which is an Oscar-winning film. He's gonna come.
That's cool.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful.
Just come. And then Lisa Labraccio and Anna Bergman is going to be there, and Pat Smith. I mean, everybody. I don't know anybody who's not going to be here. Even Alex Budowski is coming. So it's going to be an amazing animation reunion.
Yeah.
And Debbie, you're going to be here.
Yes, I will.
Before we go into the questionnaire, I did just want to say that I admire both of your work, and that I was saying to Signe earlier that like it was just really cool to have you both like chatting together, because like your work is quite different in a lot of ways, but then it's also quite similar in a lot of ways, especially like thematically. So I feel like it's very fitting to have you both here today, and I'm sure you both have admired each other's work
Yes,
for a
of
long
course.
time too. When did you meet?
I met Signe at Bill Plimpton's studio, and I had a little problem with the film. It's very technical, the problem, but I'll tell you anyways. Essentially, I had drawn the whole film. It was being Xeroxed, and the lovely guy who was Xeroxing it onto cells was too cheap to buy toner. So we went over all my drawings with a thick pencil, and then he Xeroxed them. And Signe wonderfully came and rescued me.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
Yeah, it was. We met at the party, Bill Plimpton's party. I think it might have been his 50th birthday
Or
party.
maybe it was on a tour of, could have been on a tour of it. I remember meeting you in his loft.
In his kitchen, yes. But it was a big party.
I only remember you there.
Everybody else in the room faded
Everyone
away.
else disappeared. I saw you across the room.
But yeah, it was the film that we are going to show. Everybody's pregnant.
Yes,
and,
it is.
And I remember that summer I was coming in and helping you with the film.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with the film because, Bill Plimpton, I worked for Bill. I just came from Latvia to New York. I didn't know many people, and I saw how Bill works. And you, Debbie, work entirely different.
Yeah.
It's like your films are different, and everything you do is very, very different. And so I was very impressed with that. And also because you are a woman.
Yeah.
So that was also very impressive to me and very inspiring.
Well,
as a newcomer to this country.
What did you feel like was different about like Debra's process?
First of all, that Bill's studio had like a bunch of people working, and Debra was working alone, at least at that moment. And she animated everything herself and was dealing with these highly technical things herself, and relying on people who were totally unreliable and who were based not in New York but like Jersey, I think. Even like you had to send stuff off.
well, the guy who did the Xeroxing, and he was really the only, he was the weak link. The painters who were painting it were wonderful and had been in the business. These two women were like in their 60s, and they really knew what they were doing. But it was this Xeroxing guy, and I think I remember who I got his name from. I'm not going to mention it. Yeah, you can't drag it out of me. Maybe with the pastry. There are
We might
pastries.
get drunk on pastries and some secrets will come out. Yeah. All right. We can get into the questionnaire. 24 questions for the 24 frames of animation.
24 frames. Right.
Okay. 1, what's your astrological sign? Debra, do you want to start?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yeah. And I am a Sag.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Fiery.
Yeah, I am fire sign too,
Yeah?
but I'm a Leo.
Leo.
Yes, and so me and Debbie, when we get together, a lot of sparks.
I saw it. I witnessed it when you guys met here earlier. It was like boom. Yeah,
Right,
yeah, it was like a firework.
Lots of fireworks.
Yeah.
My partner Sturgis, he's a Gemini, and I say, well, as a fire sign, and you're air sign, I as a fire, I need you to burn because I cannot cannot burn without air. But why do
Yeah.
you need me?
Yeah.
And he says, well, air wants to be warm.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
That's
but
wonderful.
but then this is my necessity, and it's his choice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. That's sweet. Where do you feel like your Sagittarian like really rears its head in your life?
When my family won't talk to me. Yeah, sort of then.
Yeah.
Sort of
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
It's funny, my family barely talks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I knew we had a lot in common.
Yeah, they're afraid to talk to me because they're like, every time we talk, she just makes a film about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. 2, what did you eat today?
I start my morning with green tea, like a huge 1 liter jar with green tea and a little bit of honey and lemon in it. And then I move on to oatmeal mixed with tahini and banana at lunch. I mixed some vegetables in the morning before everybody came in, put it in the refrigerator, and then I put them in a stove 15 minutes before 1, and then I cooked, and then I threw in a pot 2 fishes, 2 tilapias, and I slowly cooked them. And then 15 past 1, it's our lunchtime. We sat down, all our team, it's 4 people, and we shared a watermelon together, which
Lovely.
is our tradition. And then me and Sturgis, we ate my tilapia and vegetables.
Sounds like a very healthy, well-balanced
The thing
diet.
is that as an animator, I have discovered that if you don't stretch and don't exercise, and if you don't eat well, you cannot work long hours.
Yeah.
And so if I can't work long hours, then I cannot accomplish things I want to accomplish. So I have to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It comes up a lot on this because we do talk about food on the podcast a lot, and it's like the animators need help. They need help
Yeah.
with their diets.
Some don't. So what did I have for breakfast? I had half a cappuccino from 2 days ago that was sitting on my counter. I had
It was
some
already fermented, so it means it was
Yeah.
very healthy.
some peanut butter with a piece of toast. That's healthy. And then for lunch, I had half a bag of Himalayan popcorn, which is really, really good, and some cheddar cheese. I mean, I like the two together.
Yeah.
The popcorn and the cheddar
Yeah, that's a good
cheese.
combo.
Yeah.
What is Himalayan popcorn?
It's
It's the pink one, right? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about? Like
yeah,
it's like I think that they cook it in coconut oil
Yes, it's
and then
coconut.
with the Himalayan pink
Salt?
salt.
Yes.
And it is really nice. I agree.
but it does have sugar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you need that sugar
Well,
for your
yes.
brain development.
Right, exactly. For future development. It hasn't gotten there yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very like snacky by comparison. Like I feel like Signe was having like very full meals. You're very like kind of picking throughout the day a little bit.
I eat during the day at least when I need to, but I make dinner and have it with my partner, Dan, and our dog.
What's your specialty for cooking?
I make a very good salmon,
Okay.
amazing salmon,
Yeah.
and great pasta
Yeah.
sauce.
Nice. Okay. 3. What have you listened to music today?
Yeah, I would listen to my track. I was working.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, there's a part of my track that I love that I just like play it over and over.
Yeah.
Like it gets me like in the mood to work.
Can you say anything about the new film that you're working on, or is it too?
I'm animating it. Yeah. It's a film. I'm not really at the point of talking.
You don't want to
about
talk about it yet.
But
yeah.
you asked way at the end if I can skip ahead if we want to plug anything.
Yeah. You can pre-plug.
No, I was going to say I can't really plug my film right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to plug my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Like I really need more likes. I have like a like deficit. So
What's your Facebook page?
My name,
Debra Solomon.
Debra Solomon. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
Good to know. Pre-plug. There's so much musicality, obviously, to your work. Were you always musically inclined?
When I was 9,
Yeah.
I made my mother buy me a zither.
What's a zither?
It looks like a harp, but it's on wood. Yeah, and you strum it. But she never got me zither lessons, so I never learned how to play it. But yes, I was always singing. I think I am moved more by music than anything else.
Yeah. I understand that.
So I don't really listen to music when I work because I find the music very overwhelming. And if I have a music on, I either can listen to the music or I could work, but I cannot do both
Yeah.
because it's like. And then I realized that very often people use music not for listening but for blocking out. Like other world, they're kind of claiming territory. This is me, my world, and they block out the music because you can't even think if you're listening for reals.
Yeah.
And then very often people go to concert and they're like sitting there and nodding and thinking about something else, right? But like true listening to music is like really consuming. I can actively listen to music for 20 minutes and then I get exhausted because it's just like when you listen, it's very difficult. So I don't really listen to music, but since we have a team and the young people, they're like used to having something. And so I have those vibrations, they're called like, happiness frequency or focus vibes and they're like tones rather than melodies and then sometimes they get tired and they say, can we please listen to something more musical? And then I have to put something on that is more musical, which is like inobtrusive guitar, also non-melodic, kind of melodic, non-melodic
Right.
music.
Yeah.
Or there is like right now, when I left my studio, I set them up on YouTube. There is this like cafe ambience. It's a jazzy thing. And then I just walked out. I was
Yeah.
like, here is your jazzy thing. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Here's
just-
your music.
Yeah, yeah.
yes, but I'm not musical, not like Debbie. I don't really sing or write music, but I find the music very powerful tool
Right.
to tell visual stories,
Right.
because it can guide the audience, it can guide the feeling, it can inform of intent, what is in the scene really going on.
Yeah.
And so sometimes with very simple visual means, but with very complex, interesting music, you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. And I'm working with a composer in Italy, Christian Sensini, who is a really great collaborator on that realm. So
Yeah, amazing. I also love those videos on YouTube with the like 98 hertz. It's like, yeah, they are nice. It feels like you're clearing something, but I don't know if it's actually true.
No, but it's true. Very often I walk
Yeah.
in the studio
Yeah.
and I am like upset or irritated and I can't focus, and I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to anything today. I can't focus. I can't move myself together. My partner, by the way, hates those. He says, can you just not? And then I said, no, Sturgis, I have to put them on. I'm sorry. Give me a 2 hours. Is this? I put
Yeah.
it on. And almost like immediate, like it's not like a drug pill when you take
Yeah.
a pill and suddenly you're like different, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just like slowly, gradually it changes and focuses you together.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is just because I know, because
It's like a signal to
it's like
chill.
it's like a ritual.
Yeah.
It calms my brain down and
Yeah.
I'm able to focus.
Yeah.
You had recommended them to me, and I listened to the stations on
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
for so long.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. There's something about having your physical self in tune with them that's really quite wonderful.
Wow, I am so impressed. So spreading the gospel.
Yes. Exactly.
Since we're at Metrograph right now, I thought it would be fitting to ask, what's the last movie you saw in a theater?
2 weeks ago, I went to see Michel Gondry's old movie. Was playing at the Angelica, and it was Spotless Mind. It's
Eternal
the
Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine
Yeah.
of Spotless Mind. Because I saw it once in when it was released. I always think of it as a 90s movie, but in fact, it was not a 90s movie. It's like 2005 or 2 movie, early
Yeah.
2000s. But it feels really 90s
Yeah,
in some ways.
yeah.
I enjoyed some of it, and I was surprised at my memory. I thought my memory thought that Carrie was like irritable, but I thought that he was great in the film. And of course, Kate Winslet, right?
Yeah.
She was just amazing. And all these Michel Gondry things that he's an animator,
Yeah.
like he did these pullbacks, changing surreal lightings, and the camera work was done also very well. I mean, it aged, right? To me, it aged, but I think it was still holding together.
Yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was thinking about the last movie and about movie experiences that were so intense that they would always stay with me.
Yeah.
And it was seeing Scarface on 42nd Street with an audience that anticipated every line in the movie. Everyone knew
Yeah.
what was going to be said, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole theater just went crazy. And that's why people came.
Yeah.
They came to scream.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I prefer that to being in theaters where people take out their phones.
Yeah. That's terrible.
And you have to lean over,
yeah.
and say, please put your phone away. And then they look at you and they go, rent it. That's the theater now.
Yeah.
Theaters now. It's true.
Yeah.
Except for Metrograph.
Yeah.
because people who love film come here.
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Every time when I come to Metrograph, I'm so impressed with your audiences. It's like,
Yeah.
first of all, every screening is like filled. And like
Yeah.
some obscure films that like, I'm like, how is this like even gonna be 3 people? Like you have sold out shows
Yeah.
for obscure films that nobody ever heard of. And I'm
Yeah.
like, like what is going on in Metrograph? I have no idea what is going on in Metrograph.
Right.
But it is amazing audiences, yes.
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
Yes. Somebody is doing something right.
5, what's your latest fixation?
Actually, I discovered cherries this summer.
Cherries. You weren't into them before?
No, actually, because I hate anything that is cherry flavored.
Uh-huh.
I thought I hated cherries until the very end of the season when I discovered that actually I'm really fixated on them now.
Yeah, cherries are so good.
Yeah.
And so different from artificial cherry flavor.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no connection really.
No.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really know. I know I have small fixations like cherries or something, but I just can't recall them right now at the moment. I mean, my fixation is like, oh my God, I need to get back to studio and get this shit done.
Right,
That is
right.
kind of like. But yeah, what is my fixations right now? Jeez. I'm sorry. That's.
I feel like the work is a fixation, right?
That is, yeah, but that is like here now everywhere or every time, like it's
Right.
never going away
Yeah.
fixation. It's like illness in some ways. A fixation seems a little bit more mild disease than obsession with work.
Right.
6, what's your greatest extravagance?
Me and my partner haven't taken any vacation or any weekend off, and so we took a weekend off this weekend, and we went to Massachusetts to our associate producer's house.
Nice.
He has a huge land around and a swimming pool and a Charles River not far, and we were barbecuing there on a river and swimming in a pool, and there were like 3 dogs and petting dogs that the dogs are like full of blisters from petting and grilling and just like sleeping in, and that felt like 3 days, but it felt really kind of like whoa, and I'm like, who is gonna get work done? But then also it feels like as necessity.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that once in a while, then you just your brain turns into a mush. So that was my extravagance. I felt I was like a little bit too over the board, too much, like taking 3 days off work.
Oh no.
Was it easy for you to relax and like just be like, I'm gonna take this time, or was it like a challenge?
Or did you bring pencil and paper and sketch?
No, I didn't bring pencil and paper. I have a sketchbook with me, but I didn't sketch. But I did bring computer, and in the morning I would wake up and answer some emails, which is like, if you don't answer emails, then they pile up, and then you come to work and you have to answer them.
Right.
Instead of animating, you have to answer these emails. But no, it was easy to disconnect. It was like easy because it was total change of environment, total. And then how you can like think about work when you walk out into the kind of a park kind of situation where these flowers just smell at you. They send the signals of joy and fragrance. So there is a lot of things that distracted me from thinking about work.
Yeah.
But Debbie, what about you? What is your greatest extravagance?
I'm afraid I'm still in the refrigerator. Blueberries. I eat tons of blueberries.
You're going to be very smart, Debbie.
Do they make you smart?
They
I
are good
don't
for your
know.
brain. They're good for your brain. Berries.
Oh.
Berries are,
Well,
like, so
if they
good
were
for
so
you.
good for my brain, why did I get lost coming here?
Because you were thinking about better things.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I like blueberries.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I eat them a lot. And I had someone come to my house recently, and I put out a bowl of blueberries, and this person was sort of young, looked at it and said, "Oh, the most expensive fruit there is." And I thought, I just never thought about that, because in the middle of the summer, blueberries are like $3.99. You know.
Oh no, they were even cheaper in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
$1.99.
Oh whoa.
Yeah, and very sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to come visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, what's something you can't get your head around?
Well, you know, there are so many things I cannot get my head around. I can't even, like, where do I start listing them? What are the things that I cannot wrap my head around? Like, you know, like, for example, people go up the stairs in a subway, and when they finish walking up, they stop.
Yeah.
Right? And then
Yeah.
you can't get behind them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that? Right?
Yeah.
So that is one thing I cannot get. But should I go laundry list of that? Like, I cannot understand also that this country, what is it, 300 million people, right? I don't understand how we all vote, right? On in this like big country, and how the democracy can possibly work in this country.
It doesn't anymore.
I know, but
haven't you heard?
no, I know, but that is what like, who had the delusion that it would work in 300?
It has worked until this maniac got elected, and maybe it can work again, because everyone was just talking this morning about that he's very sick. He's
Yeah.
lost all his hair. He's got bruises all over his body. And then I love the memes, like of people dancing and yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, but no, but that just like what surprises me is that the people, I mean, not all the 300 million people vote or not
Yeah.
vote. Like, I mean, but that this like huge mass of people, and I'm from
Yeah.
a small country,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a 2 million people country where democracy barely works, right? But in this huge country, like, so we each come and we give our tiny little ballot, and then somehow it adds up to this thing or that thing. How does it all, I feel we are like swimming like a blind fish in an ocean, right? And turning left. Somebody says left, and everybody turns left. And then somebody says right, and everybody swims right. But I mean, how does it even work? So that is where, like, I'm one of the fishes, and I'm like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone is saying that.
that's what I
What
mean.
is going on?
But that's what I mean. That is so.
But it was never like this before. Never. That is what.
But that's what.
We don't want to take this nasty
no.
turn, do we?
No.
And talk about
No. I don't want to talk
This
about.
is-
I don't want to talk about politics. I'm just saying is that if nobody understands it, then I cannot understand, and that's the thing. To answer your question, that's the thing I cannot wrap my head around.
The number of people.
The number of people, and we end up with what we have right now.
Right.
That is what I don't understand.
Yeah,
Right.
it is like, I think about it a lot. Like, this country is like so massive, and yet we have like one kind of governing body. And it's like, really, every state should probably be its own country, and then maybe there would be like more.
I know, I must be delusional, but I never think of it as being really big.
It's humongous.
It's a bunch of people. There are people here in New York. I have friends in California.
Yeah.
We know people in Massachusetts. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I guess because I feel like people sort of are somewhat similar. I don't think of it as being so huge and diverse. But that, I think, is turning out to be a delusion.
No, it's
Yeah,
huge,
yeah, I
and
don't
it's
know.
very diverse.
Yeah.
It's like insanely diverse.
Right.
And I think it's also why we I mean, these are obviously very extreme times, but there is always like kind of this pendulum
Right.
of going between left and
But this
right,
is not a
you know.
pendulum.
Right.
This
No,
is-
I was just thinking the same thing. There is no pendulum anymore. No.
This is like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's a political cartoon there in a grandfather clock. The pendulum coming out and smashing through the side, killing
Yeah.
the entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that brings me to
Yes.
what I can't wrap my head around.
Yes.
Death.
Death.
Because I feel like, not me,
Yeah.
all of you people. I feel really bad for you. Actually, when my mother got very sick and she was dying, I used to say to her, because we used to talk about it, she used to say that death was boring and she wasn't going to do it. And that's what I used to say to her. It's
Yeah.
like, Mom, you promised me it was boring. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, she held out a long time.
Yeah, 97.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so she was really bored with death.
Well, Dan?
So everybody else is okay to die except for you.
Well, no, I actually think the fact that I cannot get my head around it means it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, that can't happen to me.
Okay, Debbie, but I can imagine my death, but one thing I cannot imagine is not being born. That is unimaginable. Dying,
Yeah.
I can imagine dying. I mean, I'm like now I think I should get to whatever it is, right? I can imagine that. But not being born at all, not experiencing, not being part of this, that is unimaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine how many sperms never get born.
right. I guess it's a form of death because you're like staying in death. You never come into life.
Right. It's ridiculous. It is insane. It's like, imagine not being born.
I actually
Yeah.
have never thought about never being born because I sort of assume I wouldn't really care much about it. Yeah, but yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's maybe terrifying.
Yeah. It's a little cliche, but like, it is like one of those things where it's like, it's a miracle to like be here. And it's like so weird to like think, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, what is this? Like that, like we're just little like organisms. And then like, now we're sitting here, we're doing a podcast. And like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't
And
know.
other
It's just like bizarre.
organisms hopefully are tuning in.
Yeah. It's just like very weird
And then
and
you know
bizarre.
what language is? It's just language is just like transmission of airwaves, right?
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah.
recording it.
I know.
It's weird.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. Totally.
Life
it-
and death, bizarre. 8. What do you consider the most overrated virtue?
Yeah, I would say chastity.
Oh, I should take my chastity belt off.
Off, yes.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know
It's
you were
good.
going to wear
I
it
have to go to the
today.
bathroom to take it off. Chastity. What
Yeah.
do you have against chastity?
Nothing really, except
It's overrated.
you gotta have fun. I mean, there is death, and you might as well have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, and you?
You know, the virtues, one virtue that is in this society that I discovered, and I am very big proponent of it or practitioner of it, which is individualism. And, being like a good selfish person, right? And individualism in the sense that, yeah, what I do is important. Yeah, what I have to say is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my car should be loud. And yeah, I can go through red light if I want, right? Because I am important, because
Yeah.
I was born,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, exactly.
And it is just so, I think it's just gonna so fall out of fashion. Like it has to fall out of fashion because it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like not really working out for anybody.
No.
Yesterday I was walking down, it was Fifth Avenue, and I wasn't like dawdling or anything, and a guy walks up behind me and he puts his fingers on my shoulder to push me out of the way because he was walking faster than me.
Oh my gosh.
And that was that thing.
Yeah.
I'm entitled. And it made me think for 1 second, I wish I knew the martial arts and I could have grabbed his hand and flipped him over me.
Yeah, I wish you did.
Because it wasn't like, what right do you have to walk up and like touch me?
No, but the thing is that individualism that artists
Yeah.
practice, which is a borderline, this entitlement thing, right?
Right.
I mean, there is a thin line between individualism and that entitlement thing where I'm more important than you. But individualism as such is saying I am an individual. And I mean, I feel it's a good thing for society because each individual has value, right? When we see in Russia right now, no individual has value. They just get thrown into the meat grinder of the war in Ukraine, right? They don't consider them as individuals or that their life has value. They're like, sure, I go and be in part of this meat grinder, where this country, at least until, last elections, had valued human life and said that, you as an individual have rights and you have value.
If you were the right color.
If you were right skin color, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, we were going towards society that would say everybody has equal rights, right? Or dignity, there is the language of the human dignity and human value, that was hopefully was going to bring us farther along.
Yeah.
But anyway, so individualism, I feel it is a virtue, but I think that at this point, how we interpret it is a sin.
Yeah. Yep. 9. What's the first work of art of any kind that made a meaningful impact on you as a child?
I was like, 6 or going 7, and I didn't know how to read. And I couldn't make sense of it, like the letters. And then everybody said, this is letter this, and this is letter that, and then all together they make sense. And it's in Latvian. Actually, my first book I read was in Russian because I was in Sakhalin at the time. And they were preparing me for a Russian-speaking school. So these letters, I was introduced which letter was what, and it's easier to read in Russian or in Latvian because not like in English, every letter is a sound, right? And in English, it's like you grasp the whole thing. In any case, I was sitting there and I was figuring out, I was like, I'm gonna figure out this reading thing, right? And and suddenly the word leaped off page. And it came and hit my brain, and I knew what the word was. And then the next word came off the page, and the next word, and it was a sentence. And suddenly the sentence went into another sentence, and there's a meaning, and there is a story. And I don't remember exactly the story, but story was about the birds and the animals going somewhere on adventure, doing something together. And I finished the book, and I remember it was like a morning light. And when I finished the book, it was like already afternoon because it took me a while to get through. And I sat down and I just had a revelation in my head that this book was written by a person, because I knew that. This person, through this story, entered my brain. And my brain was activated because of the story. And I was like, I'm gonna be a writer. I'm gonna enter other people's brain with my stories. I'm just gonna make that same impact this book made on me. I will make that on other people. That was my first encounter with art.
That's beautiful. That it really is. It's transcendent.
Oh,
It is.
Yeah.
that stayed with me for a long time.
Yeah. It was life-changing.
Yeah, life-changing.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I feel like a moron. The first stuff that I remember really liking, there was something on the back of a Chex cereal boxes, rice checks, wheat checks, and it was a Good News newspaper. And it had little drawings on it. It was like cartoons were coming to the fore in the culture. And there were these cards that were called studio cards, and they were funny. And I loved them. And then I met Mad Magazine. And I really fell in love.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see Mad Magazine's influence on your work.
Yeah. I'm so highbrow.
10. When was the first time that you got paid to animate?
It was in, I believe, 1996. I had finished my first film, and I ended up working for, I believe it was Sheila Nevins at HBO, and doing a film with, the producer was Amy Schatz, and we ended up becoming friends, and I still know her. And it was sort of frightening.
Yeah.
Because working on my own stuff, I always had a certain amount of leeway. And with what happened, there was always time to sort of grasp what it needed. And in a job, that it wasn't like that at all. I quickly learned I did not want to animate for other people.
Gotcha. Yeah. Signe.
You know, I made my first film in Latvia, and that was on a government grant. So I was paid to make that film, meaning I was the director, designer,
Red Shoes?
and writer. No, it was The Witch and the Cow.
Oh, right.
11, what's the most money that you've turned down for a project? I'm assuming there's been commissioned opportunities that have come up maybe that you were like, no, I can't do this.
No, I don't really, me personally, I don't, if the money is right, I don't turn it down. Or I turn it down before even asking what the money is. Very often people, especially documentary filmmakers, they don't have budget, right? And they reach out and they say, oh, can you do animation for us? I'm like, you're a documentary filmmaker, you don't have a budget. They said, no. I'm like, well, I can't move without paying my rent and paying my food, right? So my rent and my food all together is this much. Can you give me that? And they're like, oh, we don't have budget like that. So I'm like, I can't, right? I can't pay for this project, right? So I even stopped talking to documentary filmmakers. Every time when documentary filmmaker reaches out to me and they say, I have a budget, I'm like, I don't even want to know what your budget is. Let me forward you to someone, someone who maybe, you know, I'm not the right person for it. But I never have turned down $100,000.
Yeah.
But let's say someone came in and said, Signe, can you stop doing everything you do? We give you $100,000. You work for 6 months and the $100,000 is yours. I would say no, because I have to work on my film.
Right.
What about you, Debra?
So I did turn down a job this year it was $35,000. And I just really felt like they didn't know what they were doing. And it was for network. And I just was like, no, you'll run me around in circles, and there's never enough money to have people like drive you insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And they didn't really know what they wanted. And when I asked, they liked something that I had worked on some time ago, and they wanted me to recreate that. And I just was like, and who's going to write this? And they're like, oh, well, aren't you just going to do that funny, like have it come out of you and be funny and colorful and wonderful? And I'm like, and write it, right?
Yeah.
And forget it.
Yeah. Sounds like a good choice.
Yeah, I was working with a documentary filmmaker one time, and he's like, there's segments, you know, and he was very on a budget, but we agreed, you know. And then I said, so I'm gonna do a storyboard. I do storyboard. He says, approved. I do animatic. Oh, approved. I do line test. Oh, approved, right? Then I color everything, you know, make an effort, and I send it to him. He says, no, it just looks so different. I didn't really imagine that. Can you redo everything?
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, wait, I send you everything. And I had to do it like 3 times.
Oh my God.
Right,
right. Everything I had to do like 2 times, because he couldn't imagine, because it's like you need, I guess, animators. I mean, even for animators, it's hard to imagine sometimes other person's style, how it is going to look.
Yeah.
But once you commit to at least animatic, right, or line test, then there's no going back.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't have that in the contract. And if I ever do that, I would.
It's sort of like that in all commercial arts. I was an illustrator for a long time. And somebody did this amazing piece about art directors and the notes they give you on illustrations. And my favorite thing that I ever heard was an art director wrote in his notes, "Dad's not dead enough." It was a dead person, like at a table, and Dad's not dead enough. I just liked it.
Yeah. 12. When did you feel most discouraged about pursuing your creative path?
yesterday.
Aww.
No, I was just reading what Hollywood Reporter that said the film is dead. The film is dead. There's no box office. Everything is cratering. There is only 25% of people who say they go to cinema, to movies. And I'm like,
Aww. Yeah.
Yeah.
but then I had to pick myself up because I'm starting a big feature film project, right? So if I don't get like revived from this like heartbreak, then I will never get up and never.
Maybe stop reading Hollywood Reporter. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I guess. So I decided that I would view film the way how people like what opera is. Like, they said opera is dead.
Yeah.
And opera is definitely dead. The way it was, like the
Yeah.
old soul entertainment, when people came, it was like only entertainment
Yeah.
in town. People went
Yeah.
to opera, right? So that kind of entertainment is dead. Opera now is something else in entirely different capacity. It's non-profit organizations that put it up because
Yeah.
it's not profitable whatsoever to put this thing up.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, then I am ahead of the times because I am doing films through the non-profits.
Yeah.
Right? So I am already in opera status.
Yeah.
That's how I got my brain back on track.
And also this event, that you're doing, you're bringing people to the theater too.
No, yeah, I know. And I was like, how we can bring more people to theater and how
Yeah.
we can do more like events,
Yeah.
event-based things. So anyway, when were you discouraged last time?
I think it was graduating art school. I very frequently think of it as falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
You're not prepared to go out and work. And yet you have it sort of in you that you want to keep drawing and you want to keep doing your work. And yet the reality of making your way is just, it was very hard. But that was when the rents were like $500 a month. I actually think that it would be insane coming out of art school now. But maybe the only thing that would make it not insane is people are being trained to work in all of these programs. And it's sort of a little bit more like now you're sort of being trained to fit into the big machine.
Yeah.
And it isn't that important how you draw, but like, can you work in 3D? Can you use all of the Adobe programs? I don't know.
So Debbie, but what saved you? You said like graduating from school was like dropping off the cliff. But what saved you? What caught you? What lifted you up?
Well, my father was a businessman. And I guess a lot of being brought up in a family where people were sort of hustling in business is I really became a very good business person as an illustrator. I seem to have forgotten all of it as an animator. But as an illustrator, I sent people postcards, and those were in the days when you could get into people's offices. And I remember there was this guy at Rolling Stone. His name was Chris Ostapchuk, and nobody could get in to see him. And I offered to bring him a cappuccino and a croissant, and I got into his office. So that was just, I think what saved me was I just saw it as a business and that I had to make the contact and then other things would happen. And that's pretty much what happened.
13, what character from an animation do you relate to the most?
You know that movie, this the beautiful, beautiful movie, Spirited Away?
Yeah.
The main character, I forget her name, but that character is me.
Oh, wonderful.
She's like, suddenly her parents turn into these animals, and then she has to be by herself, fend everybody off, and work really hard and be very nice at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Yeah, anyway. Wait, what's the question?
Where am I?
What character do you relate to the most?
Yeah, that's yeah. And then of course through the hard work and being a good person and diligent and loving, she is able to release her parents and go back to her life, right?
Yeah.
Which is a moral.
Debra.
I really, when I think about characters in animation, I don't really feel an enormous connection to characters. And I mean, I love animation and I love watching it, but I think the days when I would project myself, you know, like when I was a kid and we would watch TV shows and we would argue like who could be like Annette, you know, like I'll be the main character. I mean, I don't really have that experience so much now. But if I was thinking of a character I would like to be, I would like to be Gumby.
Aw.
Because Gumby's just like happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, skating around on one foot.
Yeah.
With Pokey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like living the life.
Yeah. I want to be Gumby too.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
14. What characteristic are you most drawn to in other people?
Clearly, I like people who like to talk.
Yeah.
And I very frequently find myself engaged in conversations with people I don't know. I once got on a plane with someone I'm no longer married to, who, as we got on the plane, it was like a 747, like filled with people. He turned around and gestured to the back of the plane and said, "Look at all the people you haven't talked to yet."
Yeah.
I like people who are open. I am drawn to people who are playful. You know, often you go to live action film festivals because I make feature films, you know,
Yeah.
and I get invited to those. And then you go to a party, and then in the end, you have like nobody to talk to because everybody's like stuck up, big shot filmmaker, right? And they would not talk to like low-lie animator or whatever. They're too important to talk to you, or they think they are important, or whatever it is. When you go to animation festivals, everybody is like a dog rolling in the dirt and laughing and having a good time, and nobody's too important, and even important people are just rolling in the dirt and laughing and having a good time. So that is what I'm drawn to, like I guess playfulness, openness, and also seeing other people under egalitarian lens, you know, like you said just a few hours ago, that you feel like all the people are the same, right? And I'm like, yeah, like I want to talk to people and find out like another person which is very different than me, but I want to find out what unites us, right? And that is where I'm like in a conversation, I go like, I just go for it. I'm like, what is the thing that is uniting us? Like, what is the thing that we can both get off? And and it's like very satisfying because we are the same.
15. What animator do you admire the most?
I would say I admire Signe.
Oh.
Aww.
I admire Signe. I admire Bill. I think the work that they're creating, and in Signe's case, the strength that she has, I don't know. I do really admire you.
How sweet.
Well, Bill is a good person, very inspirational. I mean, you can think a lot of things about his work, but how
all of them good.
How no, but I mean, you know, you can debate, you know, like the subjects that he addresses or characters he depicts, and there's like we can argue about this or that, but you cannot argue that he is very prolific, very productive, works independently, tirelessly, and he not only that, but he promotes. Look, you know, we worked together on this program. He works to promote independent animation. He is a champion of independent animation, and he probably is the reason why so many young people want to be independent animators, because he makes it look easy, you know, like, oh, you know, like one guy said, oh, I can do better than Bill, you know. Well, then he did
that
better
Picasso, he really sucks.
But then, of course, I admire Joanna Quinn.
Yeah.
And I always say, Joanna Quinn, she doesn't inspire me because I cannot do it like she does.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, she is amazing, admirable artist, but when you know that you cannot possibly draw like she draws,
Right.
then it's like I mean, it's like, I would not say uninspiring, right? But it's like I just cannot draw inspiration. When you look at Bill, what Bill does, you say, oh, I can do that, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, it seems easy. What Joanna does is totally not easy.
Right, right.
It's like
Yeah.
insane.
I should actually, I just want to add now, I think that I also admire just about anyone who sits down and creates a film.
Yeah.
And there's so many people in animation in New York who have been animating for decades, like Candy.
Yes.
And people who just, it is their being to be making films. And I admire all of those people.
Yeah, that's so good. Well said.
Yes. Yes, finally.
Yeah. It's a huge endeavor. It's like
Yes.
it's like there's nothing like it. It's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's like
is.
amazing anybody who can do it.
And also, you know, when you think about independent animators, right? It's like when you get hired, right? And you sometimes say, oh, I don't want to do this job, but you do it because the money, because of this and that. And then you're bound in obligation, right? But when you're making film independently on your own dime, right? Nobody asks you to do it. Nobody. So you getting up in the morning, like sometimes like you don't feel like it. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the day off, and then you can take the next day off, and nothing will happen. Like nobody is gonna say, where's your film?
Yeah.
Right? So the people who get up every morning and they work on their films, as you, Debbie, said, they deserve the greatest admiration because very few people can do that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, like when nobody is sitting there waiting for it. Only you at that moment know what you want. You know where you're going for. Nobody is applauding you. Nobody is demanding it. Nobody is paying to you for that. And then at the end, when of course you present, everybody's like, oh, this is amazing. But that process is long, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortitude
Yeah.
Yeah, fortitude.
Yeah.
and coffee.
Yes.
Or tea.
Or
Green
tea.
tea.
Or green tea.
Green tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some snacks.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Himalayan
The
whatever,
popcorn.
Popcorn. Yeah.
16. What's your favorite feature animation?
I mean, as I mentioned, Spirited Away is
Yeah.
like something I've seen already like 5 times. I
Yeah.
probably see it again on a big screen
Yeah.
whenever I can. I did like Persepolis quite a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's a remarkable film, and
Yeah.
I still think it still holds up. And then, of course, Waltz's Bashir, which is
Yeah.
a very you know, it was made like 10 years ago, and it still gives me
Fresh.
chills. Yeah, still feels fresh. Yeah. And then a little bit more recent was 5 years ago was this film Flea. I thought it was just it's a documentary, but it's documentary, very unusual documentary. It's
Yeah.
all animated, but the story is like
It's called Flea.
Flea. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. Like it's about a refugee who is escaping his family from Afghanistan, and then he goes to they go to Sweden, where one of the brothers live, and they have to go through Moscow and Russia. And anyway, they're refugees. And there's these twists and turns and twists and turns and twists and turns, and at the end, you just cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and it's a good ending, right? But
I'm
but
going to have to see that.
you have to, yeah, have
Yeah.
to. You know, like one thing that I really like about real life stories is like, you know, no human brain can invent this kind of story. And if they invented it, it was not real, it wouldn't have the same hold on me. But when you know it's a real story, a real person went through it,
Yeah.
it's just so much more powerful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What about you, Debra?
I think it's Grave of the Fireflies. It's just the children are so moving, and it's such a beautiful film. But then I remember seeing animated films when I was very little, like 101 Dalmatians. And I can sort of put myself back into that Saturday where there was a theater below my grandfather's office. And he just sort of deposited us in this theater. And we watched 101 Dalmatians. And it, for me, is like the experience of childhood.
Aw, yeah.
It's such a beautiful film.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in so long, but
Yeah.
worth a rewatch soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17, what's your favorite short animation?
Actually, I thought about this, and it is Nibbles by Chris Hinton and also Flux, but more Nibbles. I just think the freedom he has in his films. I mean, there's been so many times I want to call him up and go, how the hell did you do that? Like, was the whole film like off the pegs? You know, you just didn't use pegs. I just, I love his freedom. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, now that you're mentioning such an old film, then I don't feel bad about my favorite film. It's a film from 90s, I think. It's called The House on a Hill, or Greenhouse on a Hill, by Piotr Sapegin. He made it in Norway. And it has this wonderful voiceover that has a male voice that has an accent, a very strong accent. It has a certain melody to it. And every sentence that ends is going up. And it's very short. And it's a love story of a kind that you will never know before. It was like amazing.
Magical.
It's a love story.
Yeah.
And it's a really magic. It's stop motion film. I highly recommend. Every time, and I'm like, I show it to my assistants. Every time I show it, I'm like,
But you know, what I was thinking when you started talking, when I should have been focusing on what you were saying, but I actually was thinking this since you asked the question, isn't it that the film that you're watching, that you're falling in love with, you know, when you have that experience from a film, an animated short, it's like that becomes your favorite. It's like when you have a good ice cream cone and it transports you. Because I do think I've had that sort of magical feeling from so many bits of animation. And really, a film doesn't need to be the best film ever made or that wonderful. There's not to use sort of a word that's rather every day, but it's magical.
Yeah.
There's the making of it, and then watching it, it's like you are really entering into another world whenever you're watching animation. And especially, I think, in shorts.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, shorts, I feel, is like they're so much more free than features.
Right.
You can do so many different things in a short film, and in one short program, you can see so many different styles, approaches, and topics and subjects. And in feature film, you cannot.
Yeah.
You will kind of bound to the story you tell and the characters you build and the arc, you know. So the shorts are like really, truly magnificent.
Right.
Yeah. 18, what's something that you think is overrated in general?
I think in a way that classical beauty is overrated. The thing that I discovered when I went to art school is that this classical beauty is actually something that is sort of boring, that anyone can project onto. But the thing that I love is the thing that has character, especially when you're drawing it. And when you're sitting on the subway and you're looking at people and you think, you know, or if you're lucky enough to be able to start drawing, you see the beauty in every person. And so this thing that people now try to become with the big lips and the breast implants and the long foofy hair, it seems ridiculous to me.
Overrated.
Yes, overrated.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the plastic surgery, especially these days, are made so conspicuous that it has a purpose of showing off that I can afford the plastic surgery. So
Right,
I,
right.
Yeah, I don't know if they're aspiring for beauty, actually. It's like it's something else going on. Maybe if I could say, I probably go within the vein of Debbie's. I would say measuring success in the terms of numbers, like money, is overrated. Where, you know, a lot of people, like, when they say, so how much do you make? How much you... Like your question, how much
Yeah.
money did you turn on off? How much?
yeah.
What is the most expensive job you turned off? How many followers do you have?
Yeah.
How much money do you have? How much money did they pay? How many? How many this and how many that?
Yeah.
And that, as if that established your value.
Yeah.
And I, like, at times, like, you see there's one artist with like 3 followers, and he's like, or she is amazing.
Yeah.
But they don't have followers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they're bad. It's just they don't do that marketing thing that everybody is supposed to do these days.
Yeah.
And that just kind of irritates me.
Yeah.
That's how we measure our success. The society forces you,
Right.
Yeah.
to measure success in money.
And more now, I think,
Yeah.
than ever before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how a certain person got elected, because people thought he was really rich. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
And all that being said, to the listener, Debra still wants your Facebook follows.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No, I mean, look, Debra Solomon at Facebook. Please follow.
Yes. We still need him.
Yeah.
Because, if you follow Debra Solomon on Facebook, you will find out what cool things she's doing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not on Facebook very much.
19, what do you think is underrated?
Humility. And then seeing each other, like in-person relationships. How many relationships we can have on internet through Facebook and through emails, right? That's why I have so many emails, because I maintain so many relationships, and that takes the time away from real life relationships. Like, Debbie, how often do we see each other in person? Like once a month, once in 2 months, but it's not like,
Right.
If it was real world without internets and social medias, we would see each other on a weekly basis.
Right.
It would be more often.
Right. It used to be more like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you would end up hanging out with your friends
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And now it's actually not polite to call them. You can't call them. You have to text them. What do you think about next week for a chat?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that in-person events are underrated. Like, we are all racing towards like more social media followers, more internet connections, more festivals, more people who love me, more people who this and that. And then we kind of neglect the people who are near us, like touchable people.
What about you?
I'm not really sure that. I mean, so many things that are important are underrated because our culture is so superficial. I think that caring, peace, the very, like, the basics in life are sort of underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, real life is underrated, like everybody
Yeah.
lives in a virtual reality.
Right.
And I'm like, well, maybe we should sell reality as like really, really great, most real virtual reality. Like, just go outside, drop your
Yeah.
phone and touch things, interact with things,
Yeah.
talk to people. Oh my God.
Yeah.
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 Totally.
So now you're going to surprise us.
Now I'm going to surprise you. Yes.
With your surprise
question. In thinking about the screening and highlighting New York-based animators, what is it about New York for you both as artists, as animators, that keeps you here as opposed to going somewhere else?
That's a good question.
All my friends are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, to move away from your supports and the people who make you happy, and also create some sort of meaning in your life. And you're part of something with them, especially animation in New York, I think really is a tie that binds you.
Yeah, it's a special community here for
Yeah.
sure of animators. Yeah.
For me, New York is just a tempo, how we live, you know, the how we rustle from place to place and what we do and what diversity of people. And also, I feel there is a kindred spirit in each of us. Like, even if we are from different walks of life, everywhere, like every class or anything, you know, like there is an instant relatability, you know, because we are all using subway, we're all scurrying on the streets, and we are all in a hurry. But then there's a moment, like, for example, like after 9/11, you know, we
Yeah.
all felt that we were one. And these events also happen around us that suddenly, you know, if something happens on the street, everybody reacts as one. And I feel like that kind of feeling that we are at any moment, you can reach out to New Yorker, if it's a true New Yorker, is gonna help you or know you or orient you. And I feel that is something that I would miss that. I know that I love my friends here, but if I had to move, you know, to make a film, I had to move to Europe, I would miss that about New York. That is where it feels home. It feels that I belong here. It feels that these are, even strangers are my kindred spirits, you know. And also, it's a stimulating town. Like, I don't have to go to museum to get totally stimulated. Like, I go on a walk for 5 minutes and I'm like overstimulated, come back with like 5 different stories from just 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
Right? So that is that's New York, you know.
Yeah. 21, are you spiritual?
I think not in the traditional sense. I think that you're caring for other people, and the decisions you make every day are something that ties you to a place that is better and that unites us again. There's a uniting feeling of basically wanting to do good for other people. And actually that's how I was raised. My parents were not particularly observant, but the thing that I got from the older people in my family was, if you're going to do good, you're going to do it when you're alive.
Yeah.
That there's nothing after this, which many people would dispute, but that being good means being good while you're alive.
Yeah.
And so in that way I am spiritual. I feel like in every day there are you have opportunities to help other people, and that when you can do that, it just makes me happy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, like Debbie, I don't really believe in life after, and I'm not sure what is driving the universe, right? And I think that our lives begin and end with us in some ways, in that microwaves. But I do believe that each of our lives have meaning and purpose, and your duty as a human being is to find that purpose,
Yeah.
and then serve that purpose. And the purpose is not for the some higher God or whatever they call. The purpose is, like Debbie said, for other people. So you don't really know if you discover your purpose. Like in my case, it's animation. I have to tell my stories in this particular format, and it's really painful and time consuming and irritating and not totally suited to my personality, but I keep doing it because I feel I'm serving my higher purpose. I always say I'm Mother Teresa of animation because it's so much suffering.
Yeah.
And but there is a feeling that I'm working towards a bigger thing, more. I'm working towards more than just me. And that purpose is kind of obscure to me, but I'm hoping that purpose is to help other people, is to help to orient them and to bring meaning and purpose in their lives. Like, I think that outside humans there could be no purpose, but if inside the group of humans, inside the humanity, we can find purpose. And that's good enough for me.
22. What's your most life-defining decision?
There's all these micro decisions and macro decisions, and like I told you the story how I learned to read and decided to be a writer.
So maybe was
but then I got on an airplane in 1995 and I got to New York, and I stayed in New York, and that's I don't really call it a decision. It was like delusion, but it in some way it was a decision.
Incredible bravery.
No, I mean, it would be bravery if I stayed in Latvia, but coming to New York was actually cowardice, but that's another story. So I don't know, like that I wanted to become an actor, and I became an animator instead. So that is
Did you really want to become an actor?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, even like I tried to pass exams, not exams, but like audition for the acting school in Latvia. And they said, "Oh, you're lisping."
Lisping?
Yeah, I'm lisping. You can hear I'm lisping. I have a lisp.
I thought it is just your Latvian accent.
Yeah, all Latvians lisp.
No, I don't know. I've never been there. It could be a lisping country. Being a lisp could set you apart and make you...
No, but they wanted me to be on the stage and be very clear. And when you're lisping, you're not very clear. The person in the last row will not hear your S's.
I don't know. Sounds old-fashioned.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I think you could make it now in Latvia with the lisp.
Yeah, I could. I should go back to school.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you, though?
I have been in therapy for a very long time, and so I don't really think it is a decision like you were saying. I think that it's the cumulative effects of the decisions that you make every day that have the most effect on your life, and being aware of the decisions and steering those decisions, even if you're steering against what part of you really wants to do. I think it's like a big mound of decisions, and you make them, and hopefully, sounds so trite, become a better person.
Yeah, not trite.
That's always been my goal.
Yeah, good goal.
Yeah.
Okay, 23. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Stopping smoking.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was 23 and it was on a beach in Porto Escondido, and I decided to stop smoking. I was smoking about a pack and a half of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
And I emptied the entire town of Porto Escondido of chiclets. And that was the hardest thing I ever did.
Wow. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Anyway, Signe.
I think my greatest achievement is still ahead of me.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
one day it will come.
Yeah. That's a good outlook, because you're always kind of looking forward to something,
Yeah, nothing is in the past.
Yeah. All right. Last question, 24.
Okay.
What do you want to plug?
All right.
Oh,
Facebook.
well, I already said. Now it's your turn.
Well, I mean, I want to plug two things. One,
Your screening.
Screening, exactly.
Yes.
The
Yes.
screening, not your screening, your screening.
Oh, right. Our screening.
It's
Well,
our
it's our screening.
Our screening.
Yes.
Metrograph screening.
Yes.
So it's a screening of, made in New York, Best of New York and Independent Animation. It's a really cool program. It has the sweetness, the bitterness, and the violence and sex just enough to get you entertained and become in love with New York animators. And New York is a special place for animation because it's a fast-paced city, and the animation is also fast-paced and a killer animation.
Yes.
And then, of course, I'm working on a new animated feature film. It's called Karmic Knot. It's like, if you know karma, it's like when you repeat the same stupid shit until you learn your lesson and you reach nirvana. And karmic knot is a situation where it pushes a group of people together in one kind of situation where they are not happy and they can't leave. And that's example of that is a family. And so this is a film about a collapse of a country and the family living through collapse of a country. But it's not this country, it's the other country. I lived through collapse of a country already.
Yeah.
So now I'm going through collapse of the second country, which is going to be another film to
A
make.
slightly bigger collapse.
No,
This is good. This is enormous.
If you lived through collapse I went through, it was enormous.
Yeah.
Collapse is collapse.
Yeah, but Trump is going to take the world down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you mean...
Sorry, am I too negative? Sorry. No, actually, we'll all vote for him. No.
Maybe,
But one thing I do want to say,
Yeah.
we talked about animation we like and shorts and this and that. And I just want to repeat that I really admire all of the people's work who are in this program, and literally really every animated film that I've ever seen. And I just really want to say that New York has so many wonderful animators, and many of them are our friends, and I love their work too.
Yeah. Really excited to go to the screening and to see all the work in the program. So thanks for putting it together, and thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, and then as far as I know, Bill Plimpton is gonna give away his drawings and
Oh, cool.
postcards, and I'm gonna give away postcards. I don't
Nice.
draw, but I could draw also. And Debbie, you're gonna bring your postcards.
Yes.
Every audience member will have at least 15 postcards from each different filmmaker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cute.
Terrific.
All right, now a night to live for.
Yes.
Yeah.
This podcast is recorded, produced, and edited by me, India Lombardi-Bello. Booking assistance by Kayla Heyer. Digital marketing assistance by Arnesh Kundu. Design by Sawyer Ripan. Music by Cloutmeyer. Microphones provided by SVA MFA Computer Arts. And special thanks to Kayla, Michael Dondero, Christy Kish, Arnesh Kundu, Darren Santamaria, and my mom and dad.